Welcome home, child. This virtual experience is an intervention on an intervention. See the wall open before your eyes, the one that intervenes with our lands, our lives. We were reinvented, virtualized, separated by nation states. This made-up concept was imitated from Europe without including the input of those who lived in the Americas, because we just simply did not count. If you're Latinx, may be that your ancestors are actually from this land. Between 1929 and 1936, 400,000 to 2 million Latinx were deported. Over 60% of them were legal citizens. Prepare to witness a sample of nuestros modos, our ways. So welcome home, child. El circo y la fiesta. Let's move on to the image on the left. For your return and for our return, I have prepared a fiesta for our children and our children's children. You see, it is because this image, I don't want it to exist. So in my mind, I make up alternative realities, as I am sure you do too. How do I know this? Because you and I both share a similar path, one in which we have to grow up too fast, where we had to become caretakers for our families, when we could no longer just be children. I see myself in these kids being deported. I never crossed the desert, and yet I had to learn about their world so my family would not suffer so much, so we were not punished so hard. I translated, made phone calls, read letters with frightening news, crossed the border every day, watched my parents humiliated before my little brother, my little sister. Then it was my turn. So see, this fiesta is one reality I wish for us, one where our keepers of the peace, our agents, actually seek out to bring happiness and peace to all human beings. The payasos at the border should be doing this, their job. Someone might see this and say, how ridiculous. It is sad to think that what should be normal, the humanizing act of protecting people and children's lives and their right to seek safety and stability, can only exist in this virtual pastiche. Speaking of pastiche, you see those homes? I placed them there because the people that lived in them were living behind repurposed garage doors that the U.S. dumps as trash in Tijuana. They are a lesser-known resistance by people who work in U.S. and Japanese factories. They refuse to be homeless. Their stairways are made of old car tires, canals of birth defects causing liquid hazard. The burro zebra is the Pegasus of the border. Pegasus was the son of Medusa and Poseidon, god of the ocean. Medusa was beheaded. From her blood mixed with sea foam, Pegasus was born. Tijuana, so beautiful and horrible, horribly beautiful, beautifully horrible, a region in eternal conflict. Border Medusa because Anglo tourists demand prostitution, alcohol, and drugs. Tijuana's streets resisted, not the stereotype, but the poverty we use dehumanization to our advantage. Camine, beautiful señoritas, $2 beer, and you would never know he's playing you, taking your money, exaggerating his accent for your fantasy. It is the black and white painted over a donkey available to anybody for a Mexican curious picture memento in the main streets of Tijuana, Avenida Revolucion, only $5. The blood and the foam, the residue of the ocean blue, the US blue, the mixture of pleasure and constant pain for a constant struggle and identity composed of opposing conflicts and concepts that split us into thousands of pieces that we use to recreate ourselves time and time again. Just like the Pegasus, let the burro zebra wrap you in the ecstasy of inspiration. When you don't get it, he simply becomes alien, perhaps an illegal alien. We welcomed the alien bastard and loved him so much, we made him our own. Somehow, he reminds us of our modos, our ways. The eternal battle. Our modos have stayed alive and well, passed on generationally, not because we love to live on the edge, but because the eternal battle has no end. The placement of our identities, head to head, the border a wound that keeps opening over and over, it cannot heal. For some, the border is like a coliseum. You cross and live, or you die. For others, the transborder people like me, it is something we do on a daily basis. The border is like a wrestling ring, and we get better at our technique because it's like going to the gym. Every day some smart-ass remark. You go on your way and think, damn, I should have said this, should have responded with that. Then the next day you cross again, your heart beats faster, and you respond because this time you're prepared. Then you become so good at it, nobody can stop you the next time you see another person being treated inhumanely, being shouted at or manhandled. You must respond, you must say something, you cannot let it go. So you say, stop right there. So everyone looks at you. They put their hands on their guns. You remind them of the rights of humans. They stare at you blankly. You put your passport away. You walk further into the toxic. When your day ends, you drive back home in peace, ready to do it one more time the next day. Now you are not resisting. Resistance is you. Impenetrable love. The border is a wound that never closes, and I am that wound. I am the bonita señorita, the prostitute, the table dancer. I am the maquiladora worker, and my body is disposable. My hands are parts of a machine, decomposed cartoon state. I am somehow always out of frame, nameless, part of a list of bad words, of body parts that should be covered, remain invisible. But it is all an act, a simulacrum, make-believe to make them feel worthy of their entitlement. The maquiladora worker is invisible, like the cotton fibers in your clothes, the wood on the table you eat at, the underpaid hands that assemble the head-mounted display you're now wearing. To know a culture from its products and not from its people nor its ways, or not even know a culture, establishes a relationship based on simulation. This desensitizes humans, turning them into consumers of others, of which women are usually the preferred cannibalized product. The representation of us is a process of fragmentation that is manifested in the reflective, imaginary collective that understands only superficially. So why not share instead? These representations have become more real than us. Humberto Felix Merumen said, "Only the imagination is able to unite the dispersed fragments to give some cohesion to the set." This is an invitation. With rebellious dignity, pick up the pieces of your fragmented identity. Remember who you are. Know what your legacy is. Create a better world, one where many worlds are possible, as many as there are stars in the sky. Porque tú eres la dignidad rebelde.